Welcome to another edition of AI in Finance, a demo version looking at AI tools and how can we practically apply them within wealth management. So what we're looking at is not an AI tool. It's just Excel right here, right? It's an Excel workbook. We all know and love Excel. And in the past, we looked at this company called Shortcut, which had an AI tool to help us build Excel spreadsheets. And after I posted that, some comments came out about this other tool called Tracelight. And so I wanted to do a demo of Tracelight to show that there is multiple options out there and we just choose the one that fits best for us. And so within here, when you go to Tracelight's website, you're able to download the plugin and it lives in Excel. And so some people may really like this. So when I click this, I get the AI agent here. So you sign up. They of course have all different, versions of it, but it looks very much like Shortcut, but it lives inside of Excel. So I haven't tried this one yet. I'm trying it now with y'all on the camera right here live. And I wanted to see how it works relative to Shortcut. So I'll move this out of the way a little bit so I can type. I want to build a dynamic cash flow planner that allows for me to show wealth management clients how their portfolio will grow over different periods, and also how their cash flows. Let's see how their cash flows will look in each period based on a specific interest rate. So we're going to send this and see, that needs to be 2 words, see what it does. So again, remember within Shortcut, you did the same thing. You wrote a prompt. Building analytical spreadsheets and detailed spreadsheets was done with using plain English. And now they're looking at it. The sheet is empty, so I have to, it's walking through, and it's very similar. I think that what's super interesting about Tracelight is that it lives within Excel. So you don't have to go to another website. Now it's asking me, does this approach work for you? So let's see. Input, client parameters, market assumptions, time horizon, key decisions I need your input on. Should this be monthly, quarterly, or annual projections? How many periods? So let's see. This approach, yes. Some answers. This should be annual periods. Do you want multiple interest rate scenarios side by side? Multiple interest rate periods. Systematic lump sum scenarios. Both withdrawal options. What parameters should be easily adjustable for different client situations? We can make all client variables easily adjustable. All right, so now we send it through. So we'll see how it builds, right? And I think that the beauty of this and what is the trend that is happening here is that AI tools are allowing for integration and building that is happening at using English language. We don't have to use the coding language or the Excel formula language or the whatever it may be language. You can just use English and AI can interpret that into the multiple variant languages. This also is the same way as, in conversing in multiple languages as well. That is some of the beauty that is happening. So you can see here, it looks like it's building some of the areas right here that we can see. It's validating. It's got a to-do list that it's going through. Here's the to-dos. See if I open this up. Here are all the different to-dos that it has right now. And so it's going through its process just like we would. And we can see it. I think that, again, that was a really big benefit of Shortcut, and we see that again here. So I'm going to let this build. I'll let the video run, and then as it comes up, we'll keep going. We'll keep going down the path. So it looks like it's all done. Now, what the difference is within this is I think I have to click apply here, And there is the entire workbook from that standpoint. So that's something that was new for me. I didn't know that because when ready to use, please press apply button. Tells me right there in the top right, a snippet to activate your cash flow planner. And it gives the entire breakdown right here. So I can now go in here and I have, an investment amount, let's say 100,000 contributions, contribution growth rate, time horizon, interest rate, conservative, moderate growth, moderate aggressive, withdrawal scenarios. Withdrawals start year 21. So I'm going to say they start 25. Everything updates. Lump sum withdrawal year 15. So maybe to buy a house. I wouldn't have built it this way, but it's actually a really interesting way of building it that I think really helps. So you see where everything goes through till. So if they are contributing and growing over 25 years, does this math look right? Beginning balance. Well, the contribution amount seems to get extremely high on these contributions because they're growing the contributions 3% every year. So they start to get really high. I don't know if our contributions would be that high, so I'm going to just do contribution growth rate of 0. And that just now brings it a little bit more in line. So you can see it updates all the way across. You have the lump sum withdrawal. You then have the systematic withdrawal. So I could say that I want this to go, I want to update the scenarios to show up to 75 years. Currently, it is only showing 25 years. So I'll see what happens now, see how it updates. But as it's doing that, I'll show over here, here's the final portfolio value, total contributions made, total investment growth, total withdrawals, net worth multiple, all these different ones. Here's some insights, portfolio growth impact. Begins year 25, 4%, not reached. Time to first time millionaire. So I'm interested on what those are. Conservative versus aggressive. So that's how you never reach $1 million unless you're in the aggressive. Lump sum withdrawal there. So it's going ahead and updating things right here. And we can change the growth rates. So let's see what happens when it updates everything. All right, so we're back. So we updated this. It looks like it's all been updated. Maybe there's some formatting here that just kind of moved over that they didn't quite get fully. But you can see now it goes through 75, horizon 75 years, withdrawal start year is 25, systematic. So you can now see the different horizon the withdrawal amounts and the total portfolio balance is, well, because we're drawing 4% and we're growing at 4%, the portfolio is continuing to grow because we're still contributing. So because we still have a contribution. So I could go through and update this all as we wish. And you see it still has these different scenarios as well. Here's the thing. I think that these tools are incredible. What I love about it is it gives me a starting point, and I can now have a conversation. I could go through and spend 20 minutes, but to build this spreadsheet, it would take me a little bit of time, an hour, 2 hours maybe, to build it and then edit it and everything of that nature. And within a couple of minutes, I was able to build it. I could have a conversation with it. But the beauty is also, so if I already have a spreadsheet, because Tracelight is within just Excel, I can open it up and I can actually check the sheet. So I can run for error checking, and I can see what is out there, if there are any errors in my own spreadsheets that I have, along with creating new ones. And there's a chat history. You can start a new one, everything of that nature. So I really like this. I think that this is something that it's a no-brainer of not having inside your Excel. Whether you use it all the time or not, it gets you some part of the way there. And I think that this is one of the keys with AI tools, is integrating into tools that we are already using every day. Tracelight seems to do that. It makes sense. It's just like I would like to have, ChatGPT inside of Excel as well and inside all of my tools and just be able to have an assistant. That's why I like Perplexity Comment as a web browser because I have it within all my websites and I can just chat with it there. That's what Tracelight's doing. I think it's super interesting, super valuable. So go check it out, play with it. Let me know what you think of it as well. Talk with you soon.